Thank you very much. I suppose the first and probably most important thing to say is that what you have, discussed this morning, or what you've been introduced to this morning, is a journey about voting rights that's been going on for a very long time, and we are part of the 21st century conversation on voting rights. So this is something that is, we can trace it back hundreds of years, and I have no doubt that this conversation is not over. It will change and it will evolve in the coming generations. We're in good company having this conversation. As I mentioned earlier, House of Commons, the backbench motion was passed during the week, calling on the government to initiate this conversation in the UK. In Denmark, in Germany, in Finland, all of these conversations are also taking place. So this is a big international discussion that we are all participating in here today. Very briefly, I want to remind you the arguments in favour: young people have existing legal rights. Reducing the voting age could help alleviate some of the turnout difficulties that we are worried about. Young citizens are more informed than they've ever been because of citizenship education in school. School is a supportive environment in which young people could initiate and become involved in the voting process for the first time. Reducing the voting age would increase the representativeness of our elections and broaden the electoral base. That being said, there are important arguments that you need to keep in mind against reducing the voting age as well. The first is the public is not persuaded, and that is an obstacle to this decision. We have serious concerns about our political system, but one of the things that we have to ask ourselves is whether reducing the voting age would actually solve the concerns that we have that brought us to this point in the first place. So is this the appropriate solution to the questions, to the concerns that we have about the functioning of our democracy? Is it possible that reducing the voting age might favour some political parties over other political parties? We've heard that there are concerns that young people may not be mature enough and that this is an onerous burden that is being placed on them. I should be clear, physiologically our development finishes at 14, so the physical formation is completed at 14. But our development, of course, as people is one that continues far beyond that. And the question for you to decide is at what point that maturity kicks in and whether or not we would be placing an unfair burden on 17-year-olds by asking them to participate in the adult world of franchise and voting. This next point, why not 16? This is where the rest of the debate is in other European countries, and why are we here discussing 17? Maybe we could find ourselves behind the curve. And the last thing I would say is that we have to remember that there are administrative and political barriers that may actually act against or make this decision more difficult. So you have arguments in favour, you have arguments against, and I wish you every success in your deliberation, and I will be available to take questions and talk to individuals in the next hour or two. If you have any particular questions, I'd be delighted to help you. So the very best of luck.
Thank you, Theresa.